Hi, I'm the Free American Thinker, and I was talking about freedom and free will in one of my last videos, hence The Wire, and I wanted to go into, I was looking at a list, I have a list of things I want to hit for points to talk about, but the thing that I thought was like most appropriate was the idea of being a free thinker. Well, what is a free thinker? What does it mean to be free thinking? You know, all the time, very often you hear people saying, I'm a free thinker, no one tells me what to do, I'm a free thinker, you know, I'm so open-minded, I consider everything. Really? The frank reality is that you don't have time to think in this world, because the frank reality is you're a slave. To be a slave is to be a slave in the mind first. So how the hell can you be free if you're a slave? What does it mean to be a slave? That's a very difficult conversation because you have to understand what freedom is first to understand what slavery is, right? Because if you're a slave, let's say on a plantation, you don't know you're a slave. You're born on the plantation, you grow up on the plantation, you work on the plantation, you die on the plantation. Within your short life, miserable life too, you will never leave more than a half to 1 mile radius. How the hell are you supposed to know that you're not a slave if you don't know of any other world outside of the world that exists outside of the plantation? You have to be free outside of the plantation. You have to escape the plantation. You have to escape being a slave and be a free man or a free woman to even be able to be of any perspective to look backwards and go, I was a slave. Hell, I was in chains. That's not right. That's not normal. To be a slave is to be a slave in the mind first. And to stop being a slave in the mind, you have to learn how to be a free thinker. I'm going to teach you that skill set. It's an incredible skill set. It's the whole point of this damn channel. But let's go to the bright news. To be a free thinking person is to be aware of what I was talking about, which is consciousness and free will, which is a self-independent node of consciousness. When you exist right now and you go, I'm hungry, or I'm a person, or I am me, that right there is the spark of free will and consciousness given to you by God. The very fact that you're having that thought and that no one else is having it, which is absolutely mathematically certain because you are a node, a point in infinity that nothing can be ever replicated again of. It's beautiful not. That is the core of free thinking. If you do not understand that concept, you will never be a free thinker. And you have to break the chains of almost everything you've been taught in school, in academia, and in society with the news and the media and TV and movies, because you've been programmed to be a slave. You've been programmed to think like a slave. Because there are real slave owners in this world. Satan is a slave owner. His minions are slaves themselves of his deed. There's a special dimension of hell reserved for lower consciousness entities, darker energies in the first and second dimensions, and you never want to go there. That's why in Genesis, when Satan fell out of heaven, he took 1/3 of the angels. It's a locked dome of consciousness you don't want to be in. You'll never really be there. That's reserved. I wouldn't even know how to go there. Like, you're fine. That's a whole other subject, heaven and hell. But to be a free thinker, you have to be aware that you're able to think on your own. To be a free thinker is to go, I am my own entity. My thoughts are my own thoughts. This is information from someone else or from some resource. But I am the one that processes it, and I am the one that discerns what truth is. The discernment of truth is another subject we should talk about, and that can be explained in the sacred geometry of the flower of life. But long story short, discernment is the difference to discern if something is a 1 or a 0, a true or a false. To be a free thinker is to know that you are the only node that is of discernment to decide what is a 1 and what is a 0, what is true, what is false. So really, when someone says, I'm a free thinker, the first question I'd ask is, are you your own person? Do you have free will? You cannot begin to answer that question successfully unless you can answer that question to the prior one, which is, I am my own consciousness. We'll get into this more because it's very important. God bless.